What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IGTV, and the slow motion car crash is still crashing. In this quick little video, I'm going to talk about this reporting that Sony regrets buying Bungie. I'll go through the exact quote in a minute, but also this Destiny 2 Renegades content calendar. I guess this Star Wars expansion is about to come out. Google is just useless now. Like, what is the point of it? It's just not what I googled. Okay, it looks like December 2nd, so a matter of weeks. But there's zero hype. I check in on the Steam charts now and again, just out of pure interest, because it's getting pretty dire for this game. And I guess this is part of live service game design that you don't really think about. In the exciting beginning of it, you don't think about when it's gonna have to come to an end and what that looks like. And there's no way it had to look quite this dire. So yeah, let's see what they say in this article. I assume they're gonna apologize for the last thing they did and promise that they're gonna make it work in the next thing to buy. I never finished The Edges of Fate, for the record. Right, Destiny 2 Renegades content calendar. In September, we shared a live stream outlining our plans between Ash and Iron and the launch of Destiny 2 Renegades, including plans for upcoming features and a roadmap for what's ahead. Since then, we've implemented many changes based on player feedback from Edge of Fate and leading into Renegades. As we continue to act on your feedback, we are taking additional time to craft our long-term strategy for the future of Destiny before we share a full state of the game and multi-year roadmap next year. In the short term, we wanted to provide a preview of the changes coming to Destiny 2 with Renegades and update 9.5.0.1 that goes live the week after launch. The team has been focused on continuing to make improvements to power and progression, quality of life updates, and the start of a new weekly ritual alongside brand new activities and systems with Renegades. Now let's have a look at this graphic they've kind of put together. Where we have been, so they're trying to visually show that there's twice as much going on and being addressed. Anything interesting on their Renegades campaign? I'm sure it's going to fall into that bucket of being better than the previous one. When they've done these two expansions in a year, experiments before, the one that comes first just tends to be more rushed. But I don't know, the interest just doesn't seem to be there. Vault space increase, hooray. Yeah, nothing too mad on here. Where we've been and where we're going. As we prepare for Destiny 2 update in December, we'd like to take a moment to reflect on some learnings from Destiny 2 update 9 before shifting focus to our new upcoming content. Starting with The Edge of Fate, they're addressing it. With Edge of Fate, we presented a different vision for the future of Destiny 2's core game, i.e. Ruin It. One intended to refocus our releases and player call to action on a familiar but deeper pursuit of power and ascending to higher tiers of gear across a wider range of activities supporting customizable challenge and commensurate rewards. Very quickly, the feedback made it clear that this was the wrong path for Destiny. Here we go again. Even if our execution had been perfect, we see plainly that it was not. It is clear that grinding power will never be a substitute for earning a trophy. Climbing through throwaway tiers en route to the gear you want to build around isn't aspirational, and the portal itself surrenders too much of Destiny's feeling of place and exploration. Yep, these lessons and many others beside them have been taken to heart by our team over the last 3 months. From 9.0 and through to 9.1.5, our focus across the entire team has been response to player feedback, starting with the fastest changes and working through the more challenging ones. Our focus was on faster, better rewards, more player agency and activity choice, and removing barriers to play with friends to playing with friends. Then they just wind up wasting way more dev time in the end by designing something, spending all that dev time designing something, then having to spend more dev time undoing the choices. Oh, it's such a mess. Going into Renegades, a focus on quality of life and rewards. We've continued to apply lessons learned to Renegades and the core game. Some of these changes address long-term feedback items, while others a continued iteration of feedback items from the Edge of Fate. I thought part of the Edge of Fate, the idea behind it was to try and get some new people in, simplify things maybe, but they've barely done anything to address the onboarding issue. I don't know why it's so insanely complex for them to even begin to address that. Wider access to power progression, especially in expansion content. Players will be able to reach the power cap directly through Renegades activities if they wish. Seasonal power and feature gear carrying across seasons. Vault capacity and upgrades to ease collection pressure. Example vault with many items. Oh my god. Quite cool. Adding sorting features, that's always nice. Universal exotic armor, ornaments. We're opening up the fashion game. Cool. Nice. Vanguard alerts. Vanguard orders. Arena ops screens. Eyes up, Guardian. Since Destiny launched over 10 years ago, it's always been a living, reactive world. Through our successes and failures, we are grateful for the opportunities to explore different paths, learn from them, and with that clarity build an inspiring new vision with and for our players. As we work on our plans and communications to address your feedback, thank you for being on this journey with us as we reshape our strategy for the long-term future of the Destiny franchise. And very exciting, like a few weeks before an expansion, for this to be the tone of it, because god damn it. Let's wrap up with this PC Gamer article. Well, says Sony, sure looks like buying Bungie didn't work out. Oh my god. Bungie's been having a rough old time ever since its 2022 acquisition by Sony. There have been multiple rounds of layoffs and delay to the seemingly ill-fated extraction shooter Marathon, and then earlier this year a report quoting employees as saying morale is in freefall. Well, the latest out of Sony isn't going to help that. In its latest financial report, Sony says that Bungie has failed to meet targets and Destiny 2 is underperforming. The report includes a 31.5 billion yen, approximately $204 million, impairment loss that it attributes to Destiny 2 failing to hit targets, with Chief Financial Officer Lin Tao telling investors. Regarding Destiny 2, partially due to the changes in the competitive environment, the level of sales and user engagement have not reached the expectations we had at the time of the acquisition of Bungie. While we continue to make improvements, we downwardly revised the business projection for the time being and recorded an impairment loss against a portion of the assets of Bungie. So those who remember, it was part of the agreement when buying Bungie, they had to hit certain targets and they haven't been able to hit them, so this could be the beginning of the end of them just kind of being picked apart and merged into Sony. Maybe even disappear them for a bit and get them to make Destiny 3 in the background. Because especially with how big Arc Raiders is right now, I don't know if anyone is really hankering for Marathon. I don't know. This is just a sad situation, and this slow death is what it looks like. When a bunch of managers who don't really care about what's being made manage to flip a company for ridiculously overinflated numbers and make themselves generationally rich and wealthy. So, congrats guys, hope your car collections stay nice and big and strong. All the people left working at Bungie are kind of moved around and have no strong direction or hope for the future. So nice cheery video. I guess I'll see you on the next one. Bye!